Buying your first car is a massive milestone, but it can also be a financial minefield. It could be devastating financially if you don't do the right things. Dealerships are designed to make you spend more money than you're planned the moment you walk through their doors. And the excitement of getting a new ride or a new car can easily cloud your judgments and have you making mistakes that you will regret for a very long time. Today, I made a list of the top things that I wish I could have done when I bought my first car and the things that I am glad I did because someone recommended them to me when I was purchasing my first vehicle. Hey, my name is Casey. Let's jump in. One of the biggest mistakes that people end up doing when they purchase their first car is falling for the monthly payment trap. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Salespeople will ask you the first thing you walk through the door, what do you want your monthly payment to be? Let's make it $350. What ends up happening is the dealership will give you $350 as your monthly payment, but they're going to stretch that loan out to 72 or in even some scenarios, 84 months. What ends up happening with this is you end up underwater pretty quickly, meaning that the money you're paying into the car loan is going more towards interest because of the long term and the interest rate than it is towards your car. On the same note, focusing on a monthly payment, yes, that's a big issue. Focusing on the price of the car, that's also an issue. What you really want to be after here is the out-the-door price. You don't want to look at the car before the taxes, fees, registration, accessories, and other things that the dealer might add, because that's what they're trying to do is tag on those extra accessories that you won't really notice until after you've signed the documents. The way I would recommend doing this is searching up auto loan calculators or car loan calculators online, focus on the out-the-door price, and input that into the auto loan calculator so you can get an idea of what your monthly payment should be given the going interest rates in your area. But never walk in telling the dealership, this is what I want my monthly payment to be. That's a no-go. The second mistake that you could be making when you're purchasing your first car is skipping the vibe check or the pre-purchase inspection. I am so glad I did this when I purchased my car, and it saved me thousands personally. Here's what happened. When I was purchasing my car, I finished the test driving period, we negotiated pricing, and it was starting to get to that point where we wanted to wrap things up. At that stage, I contacted a mechanic friend of mine, and he insisted that I get a pre-purchase inspection. A pre-purchase inspection is basically where you send your car or arrange your dealership to send a car to an independent mechanic for them to do a quick inspection of the main components of the car. That includes the engine, transmission, windows, seals, tires, any brakes, and anything else that could be costly for you to fix, or maybe you don't know about prior to purchasing the car. What ended up happening is I ended up taking my car to a independent mechanic, and during the inspection they found that the brake pads on the front were getting worn out and needed to be replaced soon, and what turns out there was a chip on the windshield that I didn't notice. This chip was in such a spot towards the front of the windshield that while driving it, I could have never seen it. But if I wanted to fix it to prevent further damage, it would have cost me thousands. By paying the $100 or $200 for that pre-purchase inspection, I saved thousands of dollars by being able to negotiate those fixes in the price of the car. Never take a seller's word for how the car runs. If they say that the car runs great, it's probably not going to be the case. Always get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent mechanic that doesn't have any interest with the dealer specifically, and have them check everything on the car. That $200 investment might not result in any issues, but at least you have peace of mind that your car is great. It's better spending $200 than knowing that you could have bought a lemon or a car that you need to put $3,000 into the moment you buy it. So do yourself a favor, always get a pre-purchase inspection. Pre-purchase inspections are common everywhere you go. Find an independent mechanic shop that specializes in the type of brand that you're purchasing and do it before you buy that car. The third mistake is thinking of the insurance as an afterthought. Many first-time buyers budget the actual car payment, but forget that insurance is expensive, especially for young drivers like you and I. A lot of people, what they look at is they look at the car, they determine, you know what, I can stretch my monthly payments and I can afford that. But then they forget that their insurance is going to be almost half their car payment every single month. People buy the cars for the brand specifically, but only find out after the fact that the insurance is higher than what they can afford. And now they're struggling to make ends meet with this new purchase. Before you go and purchase a car, or if you're determining to see what car to purchase, Go and get an insurance quote from either your existing insurance provider or contact a broker that can give you a insurance quote. Before you sign the papers, know how much you're going to be paying for the car, but also know how much insurance is going to be, because that's going to determine how much car you can really afford. This might be the most important mistake that people make when purchasing a new car: buying a new car simply for the aesthetics or the label. Depreciation is a silent killer, and it's the worst of them all. Buying a brand new car, you're going to lose 20% of the value the moment you drive it off the dealership lot. Alternatively, purchasing a 2 or 3-year-old used car might save you so much more. When people are purchasing their first car, they might be doing so because their previous car was unreliable, or they're looking for something that's somewhat new and fresh. You can achieve the same result without making the huge mistake of being the one who takes on the depreciation. What I would recommend is looking for a certified pre-owned car or a CPO, or a vehicle that's around 2 to 4 years old. You get basically the same car if it's within the same generation. You still get the warranty of a new car, but you don't take on the depreciation of the car itself. If a car costs $30,000 new, you're effectively losing $6,000 the moment you take it home. So it might sound like you got a good deal, but you just lost $6,000. Meanwhile, if you shopped around for a 2-year-old car, maybe it's the same generation and cosmetically it's not different, it still has the warranty, well, now you saved yourself $6,000 and the car is practically the same. If you're in a situation where the new car and the used car is fairly similarly priced, here's the things that I would consider. I would consider the warranty of the cars, how much warranty is left. Typically, if you're purchasing a certified pre-owned car, you're going to have slightly less warranty remaining on the car. Second, you want to check to see what the interest rates are for the car. If you're not paying for the car in full, interest rates might be slightly higher in a certified pre-owned, but it's a good idea to see how much of a difference it would be. If the interest rate is a fraction larger than the new car, but it's saving you $6,000 on the purchase price, well, it's probably a better idea to purchase that used car over that new. Don't be the person who takes on the depreciation and loses a quarter of the car's value in the first months of ownership. Be the smart purchaser and purchase a used pre-owned vehicle. The fifth mistake to avoid when purchasing your first car is not looking outside of your zip code or outside of your area and assuming that the price is the price. Cars can vary in price widely by region. A truck might be expensive in a rural area, but cheaper in the city, and vice versa. The mistake is limiting your search to the area near you and looking for the dealership closest to your house. In order to fix this mistake, expand your search to 50 or 100 mile radius. In the event that you find the same exact car slightly further away, your only investment here is the cost of travel. You might spend $50 or $100 on the Uber to get there, but you're saving $1,500 on the purchase price, and that's going to be the best rate of return you could possibly get. The next mistake that you should avoid when purchasing your new car is ignoring the hidden cost of ownership. This ties into the insurance example where you should look into the insurance before you purchase the car and how much it would cost. You should also look into how much your cost of ownership is going to be for your car. How much does maintenance cost? Does it take premium gas? These are all things that you should consider when you're purchasing your vehicle. You might be in a situation where you're determining between a slightly older German car and a slightly newer Japanese vehicle. The German car might be cheaper to buy, or you might be getting more value for your money, but the first time a sensor breaks, it's going to cost you luxury prices to repair. Meanwhile, that Japanese car might not be as flashy, but when it comes to fixing things, it's going to be a lot less expensive. Take into consideration the type of maintenance you'll be needing, how frequently it's required in order to keep the car running. Because besides the car payment and the insurance, cost of ownership is a regular thing. And all of these things really add up to determine if you're going to be satisfied with your purchase. By having a car payment higher than you anticipated, or a total cost of ownership higher than you anticipated when purchasing a car, it can completely ruin the excitement that you had when purchasing it. You might have been happy in the moment because you got a great car that's fast, but in the reality, now you're bummed out because you have to take on extra hours in order to pay for that. One of the best things I could have done when I was purchasing my car was getting pre-qualified for a loan. Walking into a dealership without a loan offer or a way of knowing how you're going to pay for the car is like walking into the grocery store without a wallet. Typically, when a dealer offers you their financing, it's also going to be marked up in the interest rate that they provide. One of the best things I could have done was going into my local credit union a couple days before I was purchasing the car and getting approved for a baseline interest rate and amount. I knew that if the dealership offered me better rates and a competitive offer, that I would take it and I would be getting a better deal. In my situation, the dealer rates were much higher than what my credit union offered me. So instead of falling for their interest rates and paying even more for interest on this car, and what a lot of banks have nowadays is they have partnerships with dealerships where transferring the money from their bank to the car dealership is pretty seamless and doesn't require much effort on your end. I would recommend get a pre-approval from your bank just so you know where the baseline sits. If the dealership offers you better terms, well then at least you know you're getting a better deal. But if the terms are worse than what you have at your bank, well now you know that you're trying to be taken advantage of. Like I said in the beginning, buying your first car is really exciting, and a lot of people get so filled up with this joy that they really make mistakes that cost them thousands, or they're stuck with these mistakes for years to come. Be the smart consumer. Follow these tips that I provided, avoid these mistakes, and you'll be way better off than you were to begin with. Thank you for joining me on today's video on an investigative look into your wallet's future. My name is Casey. Peace.